Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is Emma, and we're here to tell you a little bit about the Unity Foods Project, a business solutions project we've undertaken with Humanity Alliance over the past 7 months. Established in 2019, the Humanity Alliance is a nonprofit organization that aspires to combat the catastrophic welfare system in terms of food insecurity, especially in regards to nutrition. Currently, they do this by rescuing nearly expired foods from food shelves, grocery stores, and other distributors, cook them into meals, and deliver them in meal kits directly to over 500 families in Minnesota.
When you think about food insecurity, it's often seen as a faraway problem, maybe something in a distant country, when in reality in 2019, Hunger Solutions found that 3.6 million Minnesotans visited food shelves. This is close to 10,000 people each day, and a majority of the time, the food they receive is subpar. In addition, the current welfare system only measures success by pounds served, often missing the mark on nutrition.
When we were first introduced to Greg Pivette, the executive director of the Humanity Alliance, he showed us the meal kit that he received from a food shelf. It consisted of some canned vegetables, canned tuna, pumpkin pie mix, single serving cereal, powdered mashed potatoes, and several other foods. The point is, the nutrition was terrible, and most of the food was probably pantry leftovers.
We designed the Unity Foods project to assist the Humanity Alliance in fixing this problematic system. Our mission is to provide affordable and accessible nutrition to all, bridging the gap between those who can and can't afford proper nutrition. However, we don't just want to give away people's leftover food mindlessly like these food shelves. We want to ensure that love and human dignity is brought back into by donating food that we would eat ourselves.
Recently, the Humanity Alliance has developed their own new line of affordable and nutritious products. This project is centered around Power Oatmeal. It's a delicious breakfast or snack with incredibly high nutritional value, low sodium, and low added sugar. In a portable 8-ounce cup filled with mixed oats, chia seeds, flax meal, and sunflower seeds, the Power Oatmeal can be eaten as a traditional oatmeal with hot water or as a Power Bowl. The Power Bowl comes with additional add-ons of almond butter, agave, chocolate chips, and select dried fruit. The Power Bowl is a quick and easy alternative that just requires you to mix in the add-ons for a very balanced on-the-go meal.
Using this Power Oatmeal, we hope to implement these into schools, food shelves, and the Humanity Alliance's current meal program. To reach the point, we had to create 3 driving goals. They are to increase direct outreach to those in need by closing the gap in access to nutrition, promote safe and sustainable community involvement, and to raise awareness towards food insecurity locally. In preparation for this project, we visited a food shelf, and from our firsthand experience, we found that the situation was less than ideal. We assisted several people as they carried 15-pound boxes onto buses and down blocks towards their cars. In addition, with the long lines and endless waiting, this all took place in the middle of the harsh Minnesota winter. With this project, we hope to build off the Humanity Alliance's current program and incorporate a way for Unity Foods products to be delivered directly to those in need right to their homes, hopefully mitigating the poor conditions that people are currently put through.
As you've probably already caught on, the welfare system is extremely problematic. Instead of hoping that it will eventually get fixed, as a community, we need to take this issue into our own hands. We plan to partner with schools, churches, and other community organizations to create a self-sustaining volunteer program. Abiding by all COVID-19 safety measures, this will allow people the opportunity to support others locally who are struggling with food insecurity, and also help us close the gap between those who have resources and those who don't.
Lastly, we cannot continue to turn a blind eye to those struggling, especially those right here in our community. For that, a goal for this project is to raise awareness on food insecurity, balanced nutrition, and chronic disease. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, about half of all American adults, 117 million people, have one or more preventable chronic diseases that are related to poor quality eating patterns and physical inactivity. Not only is the Unity Foods project helping those in need, but we hope we can emphasize, educate, and promote healthy lifestyles.
See, combating food insecurity is a really big goal, especially when you add in the development, production, and distribution of a new product. So we had to understand that to successfully reach our goals, we each had to do our individual parts. For me, I was focused on aspects like creating media, planning and communicating with internal and external sources, and organizing packaging sessions.
We really understood our strengths, roles within the project, and what was expected of each other. I was in charge of the financial aspects of the project, social media management, and organizing team meetings. This is how we split up responsibilities. However, outside of ourselves, we work closely with the Humanity Alliance team and chief executive, other high school students, and many gracious volunteers.
When we actually started our project, we divided it into several phases. This allowed us to stay organized throughout the entire process, understand what steps we needed to take next, and plan for the future growth of the Unity Foods project under the Humanity Alliance team. The 4 phases are initiating, launch, growth, and future.
In phase one, we hope to get the project on its feet by creating branding, packaging, organizing program logistics and legalities, having the introductory launches on Instagram, having product photo shoots, and start the distribution of the power oatmeal. In phase two, our goal was to open the project more to the public. We hope to partner with Eastern Crawford County schools, launch online mediums like the GoFundMe and Linktree, begin implementing the volunteer packing program like Sign Up Genius, and expand the distribution of the power oatmeal to those in need.
To date, we have been able to complete phases 1 and 2 and are currently working on phases 3 and 4. Phase 3 was growth. Our goal is to begin selling power oatmeal to schools as a buy one, give one program, connecting with other organizations like churches, food shelves, and homeless shelters, push the collegiate level of the power oatmeal with organizations like Enactus, and begin introducing new power oatmeal or new products to the Unity Foods line. Phase 4 is the extended future of this project under the Humanity Alliance. It is to expand sales into local businesses like gyms, grocery stores, and cafes, begin online sales, and introducing even more products to the line of foods.
The major milestones we were able to reach within phase 1 and 2 are the development of packaging and nutritional labels for the power oatmeal, meeting with community leaders to find distribution opportunities, organizing power oatmeal packing sessions at Southwest Christian High School, having a photo shoot, connecting with Eastern Crawford County School and Chanhassen High School, a media launch of our Instagram and GoFundMe, and lastly, a sample taste testing. We will go more in depth when we reach our execution of the project.
There are many possible performance indicators for the success of our strategies. To measure our first goal, we'd have to keep track and measure the amount of power oatmeals given to those in need through our volunteer packing programs. Most of these power oatmeals would be put directly into the Humanity Alliance's weekend meal programs that feed over 500 families. We felt that setting a goal of 2,000 would help push us while still being obtainable.
Second, to measure the success of a sustainable volunteer program, we would measure how many packing sessions we were able to host within a given time. We hope to safely host several of these sessions throughout the month. This was done by reaching out to small groups like the Southwest Christian High School Disciple Group and the Vietnamese Youth Movement.
Lastly, the best way to measure the success of our last goal is to track the analytics of our Instagram and GoFundMe. This is both to measure community engagement and awareness, since our media will be our best form of communication in regards to food insecurity, nutrition, and chronic disease.
As we planned this project, we did come across a few obstacles that we had to overcome. With the global pandemic, it is increasingly turbulent of a time. Our project needed to find safe ways to adjust to unending change. It was crucial for us to develop effective strategies that could be carried out regardless of circumstances regarding quarantine and online.
Since the power oatmeal is a food product, ensuring the safety of its distribution was our top priority. As a response, we worked closely with the Humanity Alliance to develop secure and food-safe packaging. Simple steps like adding a plastic heat seal to the top of the container ensured that the products could not be tampered with during transportation. Additionally, our strategy of volunteer packaging required proper safety precautions. To overcome this obstacle, all packaging sessions were limited to 10 people. This allowed us to equally space people out in stations. Also, during these volunteer packaging sessions, masks, gloves, and hairnets were required at all times, in addition to frequent hand washing, sanitizing, and always maintaining a safe distance in accordance to COVID-19 safety guidelines.
Here is a table outlining the budget of our project. As you can see, the majority of cost is from the development and production of the power oatmeal. A single power oatmeal, or in the table PO, costs around 86 cents to produce, meaning it's very affordable given the amount of nutrition. As a nonprofit organization, the focus is on promoting to those in need. So rather than focusing on sources of income, we emphasize minimizing costs while maximizing our reach into the community. However, with the GoFundMe and its continuation in the future, we hope to cover any necessary costs.
Now into the execution of the project. For this portion of the project, we had 5 main sections: branding, packaging, and logistics, Lowry and Penn Avenue distribution, school districts, volunteer packaging, and media. And within school districts, we had a small subsection of a taste test sampling that we hosted. One of the first actions we took in the execution of the Unity Foods project was to finish the development of the power oatmeal with branding and packaging. This meant completing everything to the point where the power oatmeals could be sold. When we were first introduced to the project, it was solely the ingredients and the cup. Soon after we began development, a branded sticker was created. Then, with a connection to Rocket Industrial and Merlin Development, we were able to obtain plastic heat seals, a heat gun, and nutritional labels.
Our connection at the Lowry and Penn Avenue pop distribution for power oatmeal was completely developed. We wanted to directly reach out to those in need as soon as possible. Since we could not sell, we decided to find organizations and any opportunity to distribute our new Power Oatmeal. This is when we were introduced to Dolores Cadwell. She loved our and wanted us to donate Power Oatmeal at her pop-up food distribution. For 2 consecutive weeks, September 12th and 19th, we distributed a total of 126 prepackaged Power Oatmeals.
For school districts, we understood the importance of connecting with administration. After speaking with the Chanhassen High School Activities Director, Principal, and District Nutrition Department, we were able to schedule a taste test sampling of our Power Oatmeal to the student body in order to gauge student interest. Over an entire week with prepackaged mini containers, we gave out a total of 226 Power Oatmeal samples. In addition, prior to the taste test sampling, the chief executive of the Humanity Alliance offered to donate 1 Power Oatmeal to someone in need for each sample taken. We use this as a marketing tool to promote the sampling. We promoted the taste test through the Unity Foods Project Instagram, school emails, announcements, flyers, and collaboration with other student organizations. Lastly, as we progressed in the project, the Humanity Alliance was able to partner with Eastern Carver County school districts for their meal programs. This gave the Unity Foods Project another platform to share the Power Oatmeals.
In order to have the production of Power Oatmeal affordable and sustainable, we turned towards volunteer packaging. This allowed us to close the gap between those who can and cannot support, those who can support, and those who are struggling within our community. We were able to meet with the Southwest Christian School District and host a packaging session. In total, they packed 450 Power Oatmeals to be delivered. Afterwards, we turned towards smaller groups to volunteer, from groups of friends and family to church groups and school organizations. We tried to find as many outlets as possible. So far, we have hosted around 7 small group packaging sessions and in total have made and distributed around 2,770 Power Oatmeals to those in need. In total, throughout the past 7 months, the Unity Foods Project has packaged and distributed over 3,572 Power Oatmeals to those in need.
The last part of the Unity Foods Project that we were able to execute was our media. Before we launched anything, though, we were able to contact a photographer to take professional photos of the Power Oatmeal. The photographer was Jack Pavette, and he was able to come on the day that Southwest Christian High School packed Power Oatmeals, allowing us to get photos of volunteering in addition to the project itself. We had several forms of media. One was an overarching email called poweroatmeals@humanityalliance.org, an Instagram account at Unity Foods, a GoFundMe, and a link tree, which brought everything together. On our Instagram, the post consisted of an introductory post, information about events, and about the Unity Foods Project as a whole. We also have frequent posts on our stories every time we host an event or a volunteer packaging session. For our GoFundMe, we created this in order to fund the upscale cost of the project while providing potentially thousands of Power Oatmeals to those in need. We set an ongoing goal of $20,000, and so far we have raised $390. We set such a high goal in hopes of providing meals to over 500 individuals that participate in the Humanity Alliance meal programs. We advertised our GoFundMe through our Instagram, connections to the Chanhassen High School administration, and communications with outside organizations like churches.
When monitoring and controlling the entire project, we wanted to create a detailed timeline of dates and events, so when we looked back months later, we knew exactly what we did. However, this document did not allow us to track multiple events at the same time and plan at the future. To solve this issue, we used a project management tool called Trello. We separated our tasks into categories, focusing on both long-term and short-term goals. In addition, each of our weekly meetings, we kept track of everything on a whiteboard that we would take photos of. This simple tracking method allowed us to remember the important details from each meeting, from budget to developmental planning. When closing our project, we found that we did in fact reach many of our goals. To increase direct outreach to those in need by closing the gap in access to nutrition, we exceeded our goal of Power Oatmeals by 1,500, with over 3,500 produced and delivered. As for promoting safe and sustainable community involvement, we hosted around 10 safe packaging sessions with community members over the past 7 months. Lastly, raising awareness for food insecurity. Though we fell short on our Instagram followers of 100, we only had 77. We received a total of 3,901 impressions. Something we learned throughout were that when initiating, we learned that we needed to truly understand our mission and the purpose of the project for it to be successful. For planning and organizing, at times we fell short in terms of communication and having everything prepared. If we maintained consistent communication sync, everything would have been smoothly. In execution, we learned that keeping a detailed outline of our future plans and timeline helped us stay on track. And not only from monitoring and controlling, we found that also detailing and recording all of our communication with external sources helps allow us to mitigate and keep it manageable.
Overall, this was an incredibly overwhelming project, and some of the recommendations for the future are outlined within Phase 4. However, we would like to reiterate the importance of truly understanding the mission of bringing love, empathy, and human dignity to this project, as you are providing for those most in need in our community. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Take care and stay safe.